Good afternoon, my distinguished colleagues, Mr. Senate President, the Vice Chairman of the committee, Senator Erwin Tulfo. We reconvene today for the 8th public hearing on the motu proprio inquiry in aid of legislation and investigation into the flood control anomaly, even as we are already finalizing the partial committee report to be routed to your offices as early as next week. Contrary to the lies and obfuscations that naysayers are trying to spread around, your Blue Ribbon Committee has accomplished so much since the flood control scandal broke wide open in the middle of last year. Since then, waves of information have dominated the national discourse at every level of our society, local and national. Lest we be drowned out by the rising tide of noise here and there, allow me to run down how much ground we've covered in the course of the committee's 7 public hearings. Since the Bulacan 1st District Engineering Office was exposed as the epicenter of the biggest corruption saga in recent history, your committee was able to hear and record the sworn testimonies of DPWH District Engineer Henry Alcantara, Assistant District Engineer Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza, and the rest of the so-called BGC boys, and laid bare their collective splurging of billions of pesos in several casinos, made possible by their indispensable roles in a mafia-like scheme, not from extortion for protection activities involving business establishments, but through an elaborate conspiracy in siphoning funds from the country's national budget intended for flood control projects to protect lives and properties of Filipinos in low-lying areas. Then, there was former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo. Your committee followed the money and paper trails through skillful research and questioning by our members, which revealed the deep web of in-house contracting, bid rigging, padded contract costs, and license renting. This scam was so systematic and brazen, resulting in substandard infrastructure and worse, ghost flood control projects. In the hearings that followed, the case of Bulacan proved to be a gateway, the microcosm of a much more complex and institutionalized plunder within the bureaucracy. Your committee became the stage for shocking and scathing revelations made by the key actors of the flood control scam. We conduct these hearings with such fairness and integrity that those with the truth felt motivated to come forward to testify, while others became tentative and unsure of which path to trek. Let me emphasize one point. We always go where the evidence leads us. We do not target any particular person, nor do we have the intention to cover up for anybody. Thus, we uncovered the top-to-bottom systemic misuse and abuse of public funds involving high officials in the executive and legislative branches, even the Commission on Audit. Sa kasalukuyan na I speak, may mga nakasakdal na sa Sandigan Bayan at sa mga regular na korte ng bansa, at marami pa ang sumasailalim sa preliminary investigations ng Ombudsman at Department of Justice, mga contractors at matataas na opisyal ng ehekutiba at lehislatura at iba pang sangay ng pamahalaan. As of the latest count, at least 21.7 billion pesos in bank accounts and other forms of assets are frozen upon written order by the Court of Appeals. May mga sumasailalim na rin sa Witness Protection Program ng DOJ upang tumulong palakasin ang mga ebidensya habang nangangako na magre-restitute ng napagkasunduang halaga sa ilalim ng mga pinirmahang Memorandum of Agreement with the WPP, tungo sa logical conclusion ng mga klasong plunder, malversation of public funds through falsification, violations of anti-graft laws at iba pang krimen. we laid out how this deeply rooted scheme operates with systemic precision. It involves a network of actors, namely the contractors group, who collude amongst themselves to rig public biddings and monopolize flood control projects, key DPWH coordinators who manage project allocations and orchestrate the collection and delivery of kickbacks, and intermediaries, agents, or bagmen who receive these illicit funds allegedly in behalf of their principals. Naging daan din ang mga pagdinig ng komite upang mabuklat ang usapin ng conflict of interest sa Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB. We also flagged blacklisted companies resurfacing under new names, the rampant practice of license renting, and the awarding of billion-peso contracts to severely undercapitalized firms. Modesty aside, but significantly, your committee paved the way for the implementation of landmark transparency reforms in our national budget process. These include our transition to live-streamed and open BICAM that detailed budget amendments, insertions, if you like, that are now traceable to their proponents. Not to mention stricter safeguards to ensure that no vague or undefined infrastructure projects are included in the General Appropriations Act. Let this serve as a warning to skeptics, detractors, and hijackers who exploit the vulnerabilities and anger of our people to deepen the fault lines of our nation during these trying times. Your noise will not silence the truth. Neither does it provide any help in our investigation. Your noise cannot convict and won't even indict the malefactors in this flood control mess. Only evidence does. Para ipangalandakan ninyo na inutil at walang silbi ang Blue Ribbon Committee is not only insensitive to its members, but an insult to our fellow Filipinos who have consistently followed and monitored our hearings and participated in the trillion-peso march, the clergy, students, ordinary workers, and all concerned citizens who became aware and exposed to unbridled and systemic corruption, mainly made possible by the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings and the media, who serve as a powerful tool in bringing to the households, eateries, barbershops, etc., the details of each and every hearing of your Blue Ribbon Committee. With all that being said, as the chairman of this committee, I say to you, shut the F up. Let us now resume our hearings. General Counsel, kindly acknowledge the members present and the resource persons present.
The following resource persons are present. Congressman Leandro Legarda Leviste. Members nila. The following The following resource persons are present. Congressman Leandro Legarda Leviste from the Department of Public Works and Highways, Undersecretary Arthur Bistar, Undersecretary Ricardo Bernabe. From the Department of Justice, Secretary Frederick Vida. Prosecutor General Richard Anthony Fadulion. Mr. Manuel Bonoan, Mr. Gerard Pacanan, Mr. Gerald Opulencia, Mr. Henry Alcantara, Mr. Bryce Erickson Hernandez, Mr. JP Mendoza, Mr. Trig V. Olaivar, Mr. Maynard Ngu. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Honorable Congressman Leandro Leviste for attending this hearing, and also former Secretary Manuel Bonoan for flying home to attend this hearing. We really appreciate your presence. The chair would suggest that we follow the following sequence. First, yung issue ni na Diskaya and Romualdez. And we have here two witnesses. Tawagin na lang natin sila. Anyway, it's a matter of record, but for purposes of this public hearing, tatawagin na lang natin sila na si Joy at saka si Maria. These are staffers of the tenants, the former tenants of the former owner of the resident in South Forbes Park in Makati City, yung lessor noong former owner, Mr. Ocampo. The next will be,
Mr. Chair.
yeah, yung next will be, yes, Mr. Bacha.
I would just wondering, Mr. Chair, we have a guest that's hooded, and then with who was this individual,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair?
it is upon the request, but the names are already in our notices, so invitation. So the committee members will have properly identified them already. If you saw the invitations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It is upon the request na kung pwedeng wag ipakita yung kanilang mukha, no?
All right, Mr. Chair.
For
Thank
obvious
you.
reasons, for security reasons. Now, second will be grid coordinates, and we'd like to invite Undersecretary Arthur Bistar to present and show us, the members of the committee, bakit bali-baliktad o mali-mali yung mga grid coordinates as submitted to the Office of the President, specifically sa PMS. No? So, Secretary Bernardo is here so he can also respond and explain. Third will be, andiyan ba si Yusek Bernardo? Yeah, Undersecretary Bernardo, yung issue about the role of General Nick Torre do sa kanyang paghingi ng custody. And the last would be the Cabral files. I guess this will be sensitive enough that it could merit an executive session. Depende sa ating mga kasamahan dito kung ano yung kanilang sentiment about this. Yes, Mr. Senate President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May we ask those invited or just recently invited to take their oaths? And I would like to find out, well, as usual, I'm here to listen, but I'd like to find out who, through the Secretary of the Blue Ribbon, who responded to the subpoena that I have signed and have issued recently, the 12 subpoenas that were released. May we find out who are here to attend because of the subpoena?
Thank you, Mr. Senate President.
Well, mainly one of the reasons I'm asking for this is because we would like to find out who responded. And secondly, those who did not respond, and perhaps we may discuss it with the members of the committee for us to either ask for a show cause or issue a warrant of arrest for not responding to the subpoena of the Senate. We have done this before, numerous times.
Yes, Mr. President, everybody is present. Lahat ng nakatanggap ng subpoena except former Congressman Saldico. So with that, shall we direct the Secretariat and Orly Gutesa, for that matter.
The-
So, idirect
So,
na lang
wait,
natin yung...
Well, the two names that were mentioned, are they represented here somehow?
There are no representatives, Mr. President.
Therefore, I would like the committee to look into the possibility of issuing a warrant of arrest for both. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
In deference to the latest Supreme Court ruling, Mr. President, show cause order na muna natin. And if not satisfactory, saka natin i-cite for contempt and eventually mag-issue ng warrant of arrest.
Yes, that was the reason I was asking if there was a possibility of a representative from any of the two. Nevertheless, we leave it to you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Secretariat is directed to issue show cause orders to Congressman Elizalde Co and Orly Gutesa. So with that, let me recognize first, kindly administer the oath to the new attendees.
Mr. Chairman, also present is Ms. Carlene Yap Villa, Secretary Rolando Toledo, and also Yusek Bernardo. Those who are here for the first time, kindly stand up and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats.
Just in case anyone asks why we did not ask Congressman Leviste to take his oath, he is a member of Congress, and we are all incumbent. We are tasked to always say the truth, especially in our hearings. So we are subject to all the rules of both houses of Congress when it comes to hearings and inquiries, investigations. Thank you.
Okay, with the permission of my colleagues, we have here, as I mentioned, Maria and Joy, and we are in receipt of a draft affidavit na gusto naming panumpaan nyo ngayon sa harap ng komite. So, magdidistribute kami ng kopya sa mga miyembro. At the same time, tatanungin ko kayo na yung inyong pinadalang draft affidavit, ito yung katotohanan, pawang katotohanan at buong katotohanan lamang. Pwede ba sagutin ninyo? Wala pa ba rito? While waiting for the two witnesses, we proceed na lang kay Undersecretary Ato Bisnar with some presentation because ang issue rito is yung reports na deliberately, di umano, allegedly, nang sinabite ni dating Secretary Bonoan sa Malacanang ay mali-maling grid coordinates. So, Undersecretary Bisnar, can you make your presentation? And after that, we will ask Secretary Bonoan to respond. Yusek Bisnar.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we will present po the preliminary findings of the ICI and yung factual lang po yung papakita ni Yusek Bisnar. But for the final report with regard to the 421, we would defer to the ICI to render the final report po.
Thank you, Undersecretary Bernabe. Undersecretary Bisnar is recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. This presentation will focus on the physical validation of flood control projects by the DPWH in support of the ICI. Next slide. The ICI mandated a four-step process as follows, as shown. At this point, let me go very briefly. Yung first step po is the initial field validation by the DND, AFP, DILG, PNP, DepDev, and DPWH. After yung initial validation, ito po ay ginawa because we're talking here of 30,768 flood control projects from 2016 to 2025. So as initial filter po, ito po yung ginawa natin, deploying po uniformed men and women on the ground para po mas ma-fast track yung process. But after po nitong initial field validation, may technical inspection po and audit of documentation. This time around po, engineers, accountants, investigators ang bababa po sa mga projects. And the third and fourth is the case build-up and eventually the drafting and filing of case. Ito po ay ICI process which the DPWH has been supporting from the beginning. Next. When we talk po about the 421 suspected ghost projects, ito po yung breakdown from the Sumbong sa Pangulo, there were 32, AFP, PNP, 169, DepDev, 210, and then dahil po may common projects between AFP, PNP, and DepDev na 5, so na-trim down into 416 po yung suspected non-existent projects. Ito po yung sa first phase pa lang ng process. Next. So going po sa second phase na yung technical inspection and audit of documentation. Next slide. Ang ICI po created project investigation teams from the PNP and NBI. They focused po on the 79 flood control projects of the top 15 contractors. On the other hand po, the Secretary of DPWH found it important to deploy po DPWH quality assurance unit teams together with AFP and PNP engineers para po tulungan ng ICI with the technical inspection. So 337 po ang hinawakan po ng DPWH and AFP, PNP engineers. Next. From the very beginning po, 287 po dun sa total. Of the 416, 287 po ay coordinates, MIPS coordinates lang po ang naibigay. On the other hand, yung 129 naman po, MIPS and Infratrack coordinates. I will clarify further, Your Honors. Next slide. Ang na-provide po na coordinates ay yung MIPS start coordinates. At that time po, several other coordinates are available like the MIPS and at saka po yung Infratrack coordinates. Yung short explanation po about which is which, yung coordinates, I think Yusek Rico will discuss it very briefly If he may, Mr. Chairman, yung difference lang po nung MIPS at saka yung Infratrack or PCMA coordinates. May I turn it over to Yusek Rico very briefly, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have po two different coordinates, MIPS po and yung sa PCMA o yung Infratrack. For the MIPS coordinates, ito po yung
Paki-spell out lang, Yusek, yung MIPS at saka these are acronyms na hindi lahat familiar.
Yes po, ito po yung multi-year programming and scheduling application. Yun po yung MIPS. So ginagamit po ito sa planning stage po ito sa simula. Kapag po nailabas na yung GAA, nakasubmit po yung mga implementing offices ng kanilang plano sa central sa planning service. Nandun po yung coordinates kung saan po nila pinaplano itayo yung infrastruktura. Yun naman pong sa Infratrack. Yun na po yung sa implementation stage or kung saan po yung actual na kino-construct yung infrastructure. So yun po ang naging findings po upon inspection ng ating mga field validators na nagkaroon nga po ng mga variance between the coordinates of the MIPS kung saan po ito sinabit sa plano at yun pong sa Infratrack. Yun po yung actual na kinonstruct. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Chair.
Are you done?
May tatanong lang sa MYPS na sinabi niya. Kasi sabi mo, Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
Senator Marcoleta is recognized.
sabi mo yung MYPS sa GAA na. Hindi totoo yun kasi MYPS sa NEP pa lang yun. Preliminaries ito eh. Baka mag-mislead kami rito. PCMA pa, meron eh. Doon mo ikumpara dapat kung bakit yung coordinates ay mali-mali. Otherwise, you will be misleading us further.
Mr. Chair, tama po kayo na Mr. Chair. Kapag po yung galing sa regional budgeting, nasa MIPS na po yun before ng GAA. Kaya lang po, hindi po kasi lahat ng proyekto na lumalabas sa GAA ay dumaan po doon sa regional budgeting. Kaya po in that case po, doon po nagka-plot pa rin ng bagong coordinates. Sa MIPS pa rin po yun. Kaya po yun po yung aming gustong i-resolve para nga po mabawasan yung mga human intervention and interference. Pero tama po kayo, Mr. Chair, tama po kayo. Kapag po galing sa regional budgeting before the GAA, meron pong MIPS coordinates. Ngunit yung mga proyekto po na wala sa regional budgeting, they will have to submit the MIPS after the GAA po. And then yung Infratrack po, yun po yung part ng PCMA during implementation stage po. Yung actual po na implementation ng proyekto. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Let me clarify, yung MIPS ba, are you saying na irrelevant na ito pag lumabas na yung GAA?
Hindi po, Mr. Chair.
Relevant pa rin?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yun po yung sa planning po, Mr. Chair. So,
Correct.
Yes po.
So, hindi ito strictly na nasa NEP lang. Magta-transition ito sa GAA.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Please continue.
Mr. Chair, i-emphasize ko lang po na yung MIPS coordinates, dalawa po yun. Yung, especially yung mga horizontal projects like flood control, yung coordinate sa start coordinate po kung saan magsisimula at saka yung MIPS end, ito po yung nasa screen. So dalawang coordinates po per project po yan.
So, okay. Now, let's go to the meat of the discussion, because ang initial report that I received from DPWH itself, sinabi na deliberate, apparently, deliberate yung pag-submit ng mali-maling grid coordinates. Kasi iba yon kung inadvertent yung omission
Yes, sir.
or yung pagkakamali. Pero kung deliberate, that says a lot, di ba?
Yes, sir.
So, we'd like to be educated or informed. Sa inyong initial analysis or assessment, deliberate or hindi intentional?
Mr. Chair, pwede pong magpakita ng
Sige.
ilang examples.
Examples,
po.
yes, correct.
Opo. Ito po, random po to and mostly na ipapakita po dito yung mga extreme cases na talagang medyo may kalayuan ang ito po, this is a 2024 project in Naguilian, La Union. Ang MIPS start ito po yung na-publish sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Next. Paki-click po. Again, please. Paki-atras po. Paki-atras muna po. Ilang clicks back. Apo. Ito po yung MIPS start coordinates na na-publish sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Yun rin po yung color blue na pin sa mapa. Yan po, tinuturo ng cursor. Next. Ito naman po yung MIPS end coordinates na available at that time pero hindi na po naibigay. Next. And then yung quality assurance unit coordinates nung December.
Teka muna, sorry to intervene. Ano? Meron pa sa gitna ito, di ba? Yung intermediate. Merong start, merong end, pero somewhere in between, merong intermediate, di ba?
Yun po ang actually nasa department order na start, intermediate, and
Para mas accurate.
mas defined po.
Mas defined. Tama.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
Ito pong yellow, ito na po yung actual site ng project. Next, click. Which is 1.97 kilometers away. Ito po ay point-to-point comparison po nung distance from the MIPS start coordinates at saka yung actual. We have to consider po na yung dahil horizontal project po to, so yung length po nung project hindi na po na isama dito sa computation ng distance. Next. Dalawa. Ito po sa Region 2. 2022 project. Yan po yung MIPS start coordinate na nakapublish sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Next. Yung MIPS end coordinates. Next. And then yung actual po. Ito naman po, kung naibigay yung MIPS end coordinates, definitely po makikita nung validation team at hindi po ma-report na non-existent. It's 214 kilometers away, 2.14 kilometers away from the given coordinates, published coordinates in sumbong sa Pangulo. Ito pong examples na ito ay all throughout the different regions, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. Next, we'll go to Visayas po. Let's skip to Visayas. It's a 2024 project po, worth 98 million in Negros Oriental, yung map.
So, Mr. Chairman, Yusek, will you please explain this to me like I was in grade 3? Ano bang ibig sabihin nung ito yung start, ito yung end?
Yes, sir.
Tapos actual ito. So anong implikasyon nun?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I may explain po briefly. Mr. Chair, basically, the presentation just shows na meron nga pong variance between the MIPS coordinates, yun nga po yung sinabit ng plano, and yun pong actual implementation. Now, kung bakit po meron ganong difference, yun po yung aming mga nireforma para nga po mabawasan yung mga ganong human interventions. No? And kung buong justified po ba yung pag-urong ng coordinates or dumaan sa proseso, that is something that we will have to investigate. Ngayon po, Mr. Chair, doon po sa tanong nyo kanina, kung yun po ba sinabit deliberately, of course, ayaw po namin, we're not in the position to answer that. Perhaps Secretary Manny Bonoan, who submitted those
Yes, I
coordinates.
understand. Ang tanong ko is, yung nag-random sampling lang kayo, di ba? Ilang projects, out of the 30,000 all over the country, ilan yung nakita nyo sa random sampling para ma-establish ang pattern? Ilan yung tumama, ilan yung namali? This is important
Yes,
kasi kung ang percentage ng mali na-overcome o na-overwhelm yung tama, may pattern yon. Pero kung halimbawang sa 10 na random sampling ninyo, isa o dalawa lang yung mali, then there's no pattern. Maybe inadvertent yung omission.
Yes, sir.
To me, as an investigator,
Yes,
that's
sir.
important. So, anong percentage ng mali against the tama?
Yung meron pong slide tayo if we move forward po. Ito pong answer din si Senate President. Ito pong MIPS coordinate, MIPS start coordinate. Ito po ang naisumite sa PMS at nailagay po sa sumbong sa Pangulo. And the only reason po kung bakit 337 projects lang po ang sample natin is because ito po yung actual na napuntahan po nung ating technical ng mga engineers po natin. And nireport po nila, na-assess nila na talagang na-assess po nila. So if we, ano po ba out of 337, ang more than 50 meters away, 291 po. Yung less than 50 is 46 out of the 337 sample projects.
Thank you. Now, we go to the motive. If true na deliberate ito, anong possible na motive for deliberately maliin yung pag-submit ng mga grid coordinates? Naturally, pag mali yung grid coordinates na sinabit, siyempre, lolobo yung ghost projects. Kasi pag pinuntahan yung grid coordinates na mali, wala makikitang project, ire-report na ghost. Hindi ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. And
So,
yun po-
yung credibility ng sumbong sa Pangulo website will suffer. Kasi kung napakaraming mali do sa grid coordinates, ni-report na may ghost flood control projects, hindi naman pala. You see my point?
Yes, Your Honor. And totoo po yun. Kasi yun po ang nangyari dito sa initial field validation natin. Out of the supposedly 421 na trimmed down to 416, ito po ay initially pinuntahan na po ng, ng AFP-PNP, ng DepDev, at chinek po nila. Dahil wala sila pong nakita, dahil mali po yung coordinates, nireport po nila as non-existent.
And I think this is substantial enough. 337 out of the 421. Tama ba yun?
Yes, Mr.
And
Chair.
out of the 337, 80+% yung malayo,
86% po yung more than 50 meters.
more than 50
ang-
meters. Even
away.
pagka less than 50 meters, mali pa rin yun eh. Maglakad ka ng from here to 50 meters from here, medyo malayo pa rin yun. Hindi pa rin makikita yung tunay na ghost project at saka yung compared to the accomplished or completed projects? Kung meron.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kasi marami pong factors pag nasa baba na. Meron pong mga lugar, medyo masukal na yan. And kung talagang mag-deviate ka lang by a few so many meters, hindi mo talaga po makikita.
Now, next question. Who signed the submission ng mga grid coordinates sa PMS?
Mr. Chair, we were trying to to backtrack yung official communication to PMS, and unfortunately po hindi namin makita. Pero
Dalawa kasi ang punto rito, yung nag-submit, nag-sign, at saka yung nag-prepare. Under Secretary Bernardo, you were USEC for operations. Can you contribute to the discussion? Kung ano yung flow? Kindly walk us through. I'm sure present ka nung dinidiscuss ito, hindi ba?
Mr. Chair, nung pong submission na yan, I was on leave na po. But I know something about it. Mr. Chair, I think before the submission to the PMS, they were collecting data from the district engineers and from the regional directors. The department is collecting those data. And of course, the regional offices and the district engineering offices submitted coordinates do sa PCMA po, in accordance with the Survey 123. Yan po yung ano namin. Kasi these were actual project construction po na ginagawa. So yan po yung nare-record namin. Only to find out later that the submitted data po sa PMS was MIPS data. MIPS, yun po yun. Yung MIPS data po, yung sinasabi po ni Yusek Visnar. Tapos po, I kept on, because I was on leave on that time, so I was talking with my regional directors.
Kindly elaborate, ano ba yung tawag yung mixed data? Ano yun?
Multi-year...
Mixed or mixed?
MIPS po. MIPS.
MIPS, sorry.
Opo, sir. Sorry po. So, yun po yung dinidiscuss ni Yusek Visnar kanina. So, I talked to my regional directors and district engineers about it, and I told them to tell to the secretary na bakit ganun, na bakit naman yung nasubmit po na datos ay ang MIPS data, hindi naman po yun yung actual project construction. I mean, if we are trying to find out, of course, yung mga flood control projects, malaki po ang diferensya niyan doon po sa datos ng planning. Kasi minsan po, sa loob po ng isang taon, nagbabago po ang linya ng ating mga ilog eh. So, yun po, kailangan maging sakto. And I kept on saying na hindi pwedeng mabigyan ng maling coordinates. Kailangan makita natin yung actual bago natin ma-inspection po at makita talaga kung ano talaga yung existence ng projects. That is why, noon po una rin ako nagkondito, sinabi na banggit ko na rin po yun noon dito nung na-invite niyo po ako nung first time. So, ang akin po, ala naman po akong ano doon sa kung it was wrongfully submitted or may intention. Basta ang akin lamang po sana po, while the data was submitted only to the PMS, bakit po may mga naiwan naman pong mga tao doon na bakit po hindi kinorek? During that time, ay pinasabihan ko po na yung po actually, meron pa po mga tao ngayon na nandoon, including the QAU, who were, I think some of those QAU members were also contributors to the inspection. I mean, sila rin po nag-verify noon eh. Bakit di po nila sinabi na mali po yung ano? Dahil ang nabigay pong data doon sa nag-inspection, MIPS data rin po. Nung una po na, I think nung naggawa po si Secretary Manny Bonoan ng mga mag-inspection, ang nagbigay po ng data from planning, yung pong MIPS data rin po ang binigay. So sabi ko, talagang maraming makikitang ghost projects dito at hindi mabe-verify talaga yung actual project na nagawa po. Yun po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Secretary Bonoan, you may respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor. Let me backtrack a little bit, Your Honor, on the submission of the projects that we submitted to the Office of the President. See, as directed by the President during his SONA, he directed actually the Department of Public Works and Highways to submit at the earliest possible time the list of completed projects, flood control projects from July of 2022 up to May of 2025. So with that, we had very little time actually to go through all the data. And on August 4 of 2025, we submitted the list of projects numbering, I think, about 9,856. 9,856, but there was a correction of one project, so it became 9,855 projects. Truth of the matter is, because of the time constraint that we have to submit, I instructed the late Undersecretary Cabral to collate the information that we need to submit to the Office of the President. And because the Planning Service has a record of projects that had been completed already, Mr. Chair, under the MIPS, this is what has been deliberated on. This is the multi-year program scheduling. And MIPS coordinates, for that matter, Mr. Chairman, is actually a locational MIPS. It's only a locational MIPS. There is a difference between a locational MIPS and a coordinate of what as stake. The as-stake as-stake coordinates is the basis for the contract. Depending on the situation on field,
Ito yung linear distance, sinasabi ninyo.
the as-stake, yes, that is already the coordinates for the contract in itself, Mr. Chair. But nevertheless, what we are saying is actually, aside from coordinates that we are talking about, there are many informations that we have already also submitted to the Office of the President with regard to the projects that we have submitted. We have submitted where the project is, which agency or district office, the name of the projects, the same project that would have appeared in the General Appropriations Act, the name of the contractor, the date, the amount of contract, the amount of bid, the amount of program of work, and the date started, the date of completion. So all this information has been included in the submission to the Office of the President, Mr. Chair. So the coordinates is just one of the data that is included. So there are many other data that you can validate actually the existence of the contract in itself. In fact, Mr. Chair, when we submitted this in August 4 of 2024, I know that there has been some differences between the MIPS coordinates and the as-stake plans, and therefore, immediately after we submitted it to the Office of the President, I immediately sent validation teams actually for the purpose of getting present absent status of the 9,855 projects. And in a week's time, there were reports already that were coming to my office, to the office. And it is only in Region 3 that furnished me a copy of possible potential ghost projects. And well, true enough that when I received this report, there are no other, by the way, Mr. Chair, There were no other regions that furnished me or informed me of any other ghost project at that time. So, right then and there, I went to validate myself actually where these ghost projects are in Bulacan First Engineering District, so to speak. And true enough, collaboration with members of the officials of that district and the regions, I found out that there had been some ghost projects in that area. And immediately, Mr. Chair, after my validation, I went to the President, and I was the one who personally reported to him actually the potential ghost projects at that time. Let me also clarify, Mr. Chair, that my statement to the President is that I hope, Mr. President, that this is an isolated case because there has not been any other report that reached me, including in Bulacan area, where there are 3 engineering districts. And if it would have been a pattern actually in that district, then you can imagine there's only one that has reported presence of ghost projects. And so the President told me to start investigating the ghost projects. Immediately thereafter, Mr. Chair, I relieved all the personnel of Bulacan First Engineering District, and we started to undertake the investigations. But then after, during the investigations, including COA and everything, then I resigned in September 1, Your Honor. So that's the whole story. So there is actually a difference between MIPS coordinates and as-stake plant coordinates, Mr. Chair. Admittedly, I think, if I remember right, I also discussed this a little bit with the President when I reported actually where the ghost projects are. Because I think what has been submitted are coordinates of already completed projects before. So there are some differences, Mr. Chair.
We'll now proceed to the priority list based on the order of arrival of the members of the committee. Let's start with Senator Erwin Tulfo, followed by the Senate President, then Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Ejercito, Senator Gatchalian. Kasi hindi naman tayo masyado marami, we'll give you 15 minutes each.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to direct my question to former Secretary Bonoan. Nung kausap niyo ho ang Pangulo, nung hiningan po kayo ng report about sa ghost project, natunugan niyo na ho na may mga problema na ganito po, yung mga coordinates, or wala kayong idea because you relied only on the information submitted to you by the district's engineers and regional directors. Then that's the report that you gave to the President. Kaya inanunsyo ng Pangulo na napakarami mga ghost project. Is this correct?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, of course, I relied on the data that was generated by our people in the department, especially the office of the late Undersecretary Cathy Cabral, especially the initial, the submitted data are from the consolidated data by the late Undersecretary Cabral. So, nandun po yung mga MIPS data. And I think, ang ano lang na Presidente nung nag-usap kami is actually the only potential ghost projects that I reported to him are those projects that were reported to me dito sa may Bulacan First Engineering District. Wala na pong iba.
Have you informed the President na magkaiba yung MIPS coordinates at saka dun sa actual coordinates? Did you explain it to him?
Yes, I think in our conversations, I told the president that some of these are locational. The MIPS are locational coordinates, but there is actually what we have as stake coordinates, which is the basis of the contract in itself. But having said that, I assure that the president that it's still in the same area, yung project na yan. It's still in the same area. It cannot be in any other area, Mr. Chair. Because yung gagawin na yung kontrata, I think depende depende doon sa situation on the field that would warrant on the technical assessment on the field. This is where they're going to put up the as-stake project.
All right, thank you, former Secretary Bunoan. Let me go now to Yusek Bisnar. Yusek Bisnar, when you found out na meron po mga ganitong mga inconsistencies, meron pong problema tayo sa mga coordinates, na-inform po ba ang palasyo na, Mr. President, na-inform po ba ang Secretary Vince Dizon na may problema po tayo, na may mga ghost project, na hindi naman talaga ghost, pero nagawa naman pala, nasa ibang lugar lang. Were they informed, the Secretary and the President?
Si Secretary po na inform na, and pina-finalize lang po yung report para po mapadala sa PMS and para po makorek yung sumbong sa Pangulo website, Your Honor.
Ilan po sa tingin ninyo right now ang ika nga na wrong ang naibigay na coordinates? Kasi, Mr. Undersecretary, ang dami pong kinasuhan, ang dami pong contractor, ang dami pong mga opisyal ng Public Works and Highways na kinasuhan, kung ginawa naman po ang project, yun po yung tanong natin. It's kind of unfair saying na ghost itong project. Lahat tuloy ng buong Pilipinas, ang tingin tuloy lahat ng projects ng DPWH last year are ghost projects. And when in fact, nandyan naman pala, nagkamali lang ng ika nga pwesto. Dito pala sinasabi, wala dito, yung pala 1.2 kilometers or 1.9 kilometers, nandoon pala yung actual project. Na anong action ang ginawa ho ninyo? To rectify this? Hindi po maliit na problema ito, malaking problema po ito. Mr. Undersecretary, marami ho nakakulong ngayon. May mga ngayon pinapasampina, katakot-takot na sampinang inisyo ngayon ng Department of Justice para sagutin ng mga taong ito. What have you done so far?
Can I
Go
answer
ahead,
po?
Yusek Bernabe.
Mr. Chair, just to set the record straight po, no, yun pong mga naging subject of cases pending now before the Ombudsman or Sandigan Bayan. Ito po ay talaga mga ghost projects po. So aside from the issue na meron nga po mga wrong coordinates, meron pa rin po talagang ghost projects.
So, are you telling me, is this the reason why, bakit nadidelay tayo? Dahil ito ba ang reason na dinodouble check ninyo kaya wala pa na issue ng mga warrants of arrest sa ilang mga opisyal? Because of this, you want to double check it?
Correct, Mr. Chair. No? Kaya po medyo it takes time to validate kasi nga po hindi porket yung initial validation done by the field na wala doon sa MIPS coordinates, we have to verify po kung wala po talagang nagawa. So that's why ito pong 421, it took us time to validate all these sites po to ensure na kapag po may kakasuhan for ghost, talaga pong ghost project.
You said 421, di ba ilang libo po yung nabanggit na Pangulo na sa report niya ang ghost project? Are you saying itong 421 pala na-validate ninyo na correctly na talagang ghost?
Mr. Chair, yes po. Ito po yung listahan ng ICI. ICI po kasi talaga yung may initiative on this and we are just rendering them technical support po. Pero po yung 421 pa due po of course to limited manpower. Yun po ang kanila munang inuuna. And then afterwards po they will expand further doon po sa ibang mga suspected.
So ongoing po ang inyong pag-check ngayon, pag-validate kung talagang ghost or ika nga nasa ibang pwesto lang, nasa ibang lugar lang na ilagay yung project or ilang meters ang layo or ilang kilometro ang layo doon sa MIPS coordinates.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Ilan pa po ang i-validate ho natin?
We will defer po to the ICI to give us po yung schedule and to render the final report. But as we speak po, we understand that the 421 malapit na pong ma-finalize yung first batch po na yun.
All right, thank you. Secretary Vida, DOJ, ano ang ginagawa ho ninyo ngayon? Kasi hindi ho kaya ang problema dito dahil mali po may mga narinig po natin sa DPWH na may mga wrong coordinates. Pina-check po sa NBI teams natin, AFP, PNP. Wala yung project pero move lang pala ng 1 to 2 kilometers away doon sa actual site na sinasabing dapat kasi MIPS coordinates pala yon, hindi talaga actual coordinates. Meron po ba kayong ginagawang counter-checking also, not just relying sa ICI, kundi mismong mga tao to make sure. Kasi nga naman po, marami ho tayong kakasuhan, marami ho tayong bibigyan ng warrant of arrest. What have you been doing so far dito po sa DOJ to make sure po na pabibigyan po ng hustisya ang lahat?
Maraming salamat po, Senator. Sa kasalukuyan po, 14 po yung projects na identified na ng Department of Justice sa pamamagitan po ng pagkalap ng iba't ibang pirasong ebidensya, pirasong ebidensya. Kaya po ito po yung nakasalang na. 14 po na projects na sa amin pong, kami po ay kumbinsido na ghost projects. Ito po ay hinugot dun sa unang listahan po na 421. Dun sa iba po na 421 projects, hindi pa po kami kumbinsido na ghost projects sila at patuloy po kami nagkakalap ng iba't ibang ebidensya para masigurado siyang ghost project. Pero sa kasalukuyan po, tulad po yung sa 14 na yun po, yung 2 po nun, kasalang na po sa Sandigan Bayan. Yung, so 14, 2, yung 12, nakasalang po yung sa isa pong batch, yung involved po yung Sims Construction Trading, may 3 kaso din po yun. Nakagayak na po na maglabas ang DOJ ng resolution para ipasa sa Office of the Ombudsman para timbangin kung ito'y aaproba ng Office of the Ombudsman. Sumunod po, may 6 na project din po na involved po ang Wawaw Construction at Top-Notch Catalyst Builders na ito rin po ay tinuturing naming ghost projects. Ito po ay nakasalang pa ho sa PI, Preliminary Investigation. Tapos may 3 pa hong high-value cases na involving ang kinaso naman po na nakasalang na PI ay plunder po. Para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang PI po ay Preliminary Investigation. Ito po yung proseso bago po magsampa ng information ang Office of the Ombudsman sa korte, either sa Sandigan Bayan o di kaya ay sa Regional Trial Court.
Mr. Secretary, so naka-PI yung iba kaya wala pa mga warrant of arrest, pero are we expecting or are we going to expect na may mga warrants of arrest ilalabas soon to some officials pretty soon at talaga ito ay final na po na talagang napatunayan na ito ay mga ghost projects, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Senator, opo, umaasa po kami. Tulad po ng mga una ho namin pahayag, ang paglalabas po ng arrest warrant ay isang judicial function. So ayaw po namin pangunahan ng korte ang Sandigan Bayan, pero kami po ay kumbinsido na pag nagsalang po kami ng information na inapruban ni Ombudsman, ito po ay makakatindig sa pag-aaral ng husgado para po ma-issuehan ng arrest warrant.
Thank you. Let me get back to Yusek Bisnar. 421 cases, 14 pa lang po ang kumbinsido kayo na ghost project. 1,000 po yung na-file sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Kailan ho tayo matatapos nito? Baka tapos na po ang administrasyon na ito, itong mga kaso sa flood control, hindi pa natatapos, Undersecretary.
Yun po talaga ang magiging sitwasyon natin po. Kasi as of today po, out of the 30,000 flood control projects from 2016 to 2025, out of the 30,000 flood control projects po from 2016 to 2025, ang na-inspect na po ng AFP, PNP is 10,238. Dahil po dito sa development po na to na most likely maling location ang napuntahan nila, then we have to restart over. Dito po sa 10,000 na validate nila, ang dineclare po nilang non-existent ngayon po is 252. So babalikan na naman po natin itong 252 na to or yung mga projects dito na hindi po kasama dyan sa 416, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, ang tanong ho natin kasi habang tumatagal po ito, magkakaroon ng idea yung mga tao na baka may tinatakpan ho tayo sa sobrang tagal. And I'm sure you've heard of the words or phrase na justice delayed is justice denied. Sa sobrang tagal po nito, ika nga, baka may mga maabswelto, magkaaregluhan, dahil sa sobrang bagal ho. Are you satisfied or with this investigation going on sa baba ninyo?
Your Honor, I would like to reiterate po yung nasabi na rin ni Yusek Bernabe kanina na ang DPWH po at this point is supporting yung effort po ng ICI which is mandated na siya pong mag-lead ng investigation, Your Honor.
Yusek, Secretary Vida, kayo ho ba satisfied kayo dito sa 421, 14 pa lang po ang sigurado na ghost project. Meron po tayong 30,000 plus na suspected ghost project.
Opo.
Baka tapos na ho yung termino ng administrasyon na ito. Ongoing pa ho investigation. Baka paano ko sa susunod administrasyon, hindi na po pag-uusapan ito. Di marami pong makakawala, marami pong malilibre, Mr. Chair.
Opo. Mr. Senator, if I may suggest po, sana po ang DPWH at iba pa hong mga katulong ng DPWH sa pagbe-validate, maglabas na rin ng datos kung yung libo-libo hubang project, alin yung talagang hindi na ghost project. Para malimit ho natin yung universe. Tulad po yung nabanggit po kanina ni Secretary Bunoan, malaking input po sa amin yon. Na sa mga initial report sa kanya, lumalabas sa Region 3 lang. Diba? Yung mga unang bahagi. Para po mapaliit natin, para hindi ho tayo balik na balik sa libo-libo, kung makakapaglabas na ho ang ating mga kapatid sa kagawaran ng DPWH na, alimbawa po, 10,000, 9,800 dyan, sigurado na kami hindi ghost project. Di lumiit na po yung ating universe. Kasi limitado po ang resources ng government. Limitado rin po ang oras natin sa pag-asa ng ating mga kababayan na magkaroon nga ho ng solusyon. So what ang suggestion po ng inyong lingkod ay para mapaliit po natin. Let's if talaga pong validated na hindi siya ghost project, makapaglabas ho ng datos na hindi na talaga ghost project 'yon. Para makapag-concentrate po tayo sa case build-up dun sa talagang tinuturing nating ghost projects.
So kayo din, Mr. Chair, ay nababagalan sa pangyayaring ito? Kayo po sa Department of Justice?
Hindi naman po nababagalan. At batid po namin ang iba yung pagkilos po ng mga kapatid natin mula sa DPWH. Baka lang po yung idea na nailulutang sa publiko ay libo-libo pa ring project, pero batid na naman po sa datos na nakita na yung 9,000 mahigit ay hindi talaga ghost project. So aminin na natin sa publiko kung talagang hindi ghost project yon. Mag-concentrate na tayo ho para ho matumbok na ho natin kung sino yung dapat kasuhan, makapag-case build up, makapag-ipon na po tayo ng iba't ibang ebidensya pa ho.
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair, and I agree with the Secretary of Justice, siguro, Department of Public Works and Highways, if we can submit a report kahit sa kanila lang muna na ito, we believe na hindi ito ghost project, ito ay ghost project. Kasi kawawa ho ang dami hong nag-aantay, ang dami hong nalagay sa media, nag-aantay na sabpina, napadalhan ng mga sabpina, pero wala pa rin pala because of that. Siyempre, kailangan natin siguro bilisan ho natin kasi ang taong bayan po ay nag-aantay din. Tingin tuloy baka hinuhokus-pokus na ng pamahalaan ng administrasyon na ito at maraming i-absuelto, may delay pala tayo sa investigasyon.
Mr. Chair, we will comply po, no? Mr. Chair, for information lang po of the body also, as of date, we have already filed cases against 87 individuals. And habang po kami ay tumutuloy ng investigasyon, kapag po meron kami makita na substandard or ghost, we will continue to file cases po, no? Hanggang po kami ay tuloy-tuloy po itong aming investigasyon po.
Okay. It seems po na hindi reliable ang MIPS coordinates at there are certain inconsistencies. Moving forward po, ano ang reforms ngayon ng DPWH para ma-ensure na isa na lang po ang coordinates ng MIPS at PCMA? Kasi po parang medyo magulo eh. I mean, meron tayong MIPS, merong ika nga para sa PCMA. Ano ho ba talaga? May paliwanag si Yusek Bisnar kasi nababago yung contour, yung ilog. Pero hindi ba pa pwedeng isa na lamang na coordinates? Kasi magulo ito. Through MIPS, we identify the project. Through PCMA, we monitor the project. So hindi ho ata tama na magkaiba ang coordinates sa MIPS at PCMA. Will you agree with me?
Mr. Chair, sobrang agree po kami dyan, no? Tamang-tama po yung inyong sinabi. Kaya nga po meron po kami mga reforma ngayon to implement itong mga bagong systems, to improve the systems. In fact, meron nga po kaming foreign assisted project to reform this application para nga po isa na lang ang coordinates na gamit po natin. This on top po ng aming nilaunch na transparency portal. Moving forward po, we also intend to have satellite images to monitor po ang aming mga proyekto para nga po to lessen the human intervention.
Kasi Yusek Bernabe, habang may mga gray areas tayo na ganito, yung mga malilikot ang isip, nakakapag-isip ng how to make money because there's a gray area, dala-dalawa po yung ika nga coordinates natin. Pero kung iisa lamang po ito, wala hong kawala, di po ba?
Tama po kayo, Mr. Chair.
Mr. President, just
Go ahead.
this is just a request for submission very quickly. Yusek Bernabe, nabanggit nyo yung nagsampa na kayo ng ilang kaso for ghost and substandard. Baka pwedeng isubmite sa ating komite kasi pinag-uusapan kanina ghost eh. Pero meron ding maliwanag na substandard. Which means therefore na hindi rin compliant at maaring ang dahil kulang sa budget dahil kinurakot naging substandard, hindi ba? So if he can submit to the committee the list of cases involving substandard projects and involving ghost projects. For the
We
record.
will comply, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Yes, going back to Secretary Yusek Bernabe, naitanong ko kanina ng ating chairman kung ito po bang wrong coordinates na ito was deliberate, sinadya po ba o hindi sinadya? Anong basa ninyo? I mean, sinadya po ba ito para ligawin ang mga investigasyon ng Blue Ribbon Committee, investigasyon ng ICI, ng Ombudsman? Ito po ba sinadya sa basa ho ninyo? Bakit nagbigay ho ng mga inconsistent at wrong coordinates? At ngayon lumalabas na may mga hindi naman pala lahat ghost project, nagawa din naman pala. Yung pala ilang metro lamang ang layo sa pinuntahan o chinek. Ano hong comment niyo ho dito?
Again, sorry po, Mr. Chair, no, but I cannot speak on behalf of the former secretary on the intention of submitting the MYPS coordinates vis-a-vis the actual location. Kami lang po ay factual that upon inspecting the projects of the 421 ay meron nga pong variance between the MYPS coordinates and the actual coordinates. Now, the reason or rationale for submitting the MYPS, di po namin kaya sagutin, Mr. Chair.
Hindi ho ninyo, syempre may mga naiwan pa po dyan ng mga district engineer, yung mga mid-level supervisors, hindi ho kayo nagtanong-tanong bakit mali yung naibigay na mga coordinates? Did you ask? Did you try to ask?
Mr. Chair, I believe they submitted both MYPS and the actual coordinates. Ngayon po, I think doon na po sa central office na po ang nagdesisyon kung ano po yung kanilang ipapasa, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. I have one last question, Mr. Chair. Then I will. It's okay. I will just give way to my colleagues. Secretary Bonoan, Kayo ho ba, you believe na yung mga binigay ho ninyo na coordinates or yung na mga tao ninyo, sinadya po ito or talagang tanga lang? Ang posible naman ho, pinag-aralan naman ho natin dyan sa civil engineering course, yung mga coordinates po na yan. May mga barkada po ako na mga civil engineer. Pinag-aaralan po, basic po yan sa civil engineering, mga coordinates na yan. Ano nangyari dito, Yusek?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, as I mentioned earlier, ang MIPS coordinate is a locational coordinate. Yung coordinates kung nasaan yung ilog, nasaan yung town, nasaan yung province, that is the locational coordinates. Ang difference, Mr. Chair, is actually when the project is going to be contracted out, there is what we call as-stake coordinates, as-stake plans. Depende na po doon sa condition on field condition. Kasi sila na po magdidetermine where the project will be most useful. Doon na po nila ilalagay yung project na yan. So that is actually the as-stake coordinates, which is actually the limits of the contract that will be implemented, Mr. Chair. May I just want one comment lang, Mr. Chair. When I learned about the report that there were actually about 421 potential ghost projects, it's already a mind-boggling information to me. I have never anything about this kind of ghost projects. Kasi if there would be that many ghost projects, I was wondering why would this not been naipaano na ng COA sa departamento? Hindi na ba because yearly, Mr. Chairman, the COA will have to submit to us actually their observation report. And 421 potential ghost projects, as reported, is really a mind-boggling to me. A number of that sort, all over the country.
Hindi ako, Secretary Bonoan, maaring maniwala ho ako kasi kita naman ho natin may sabwatan ho, ilang mga district engineers po ninyo dati at saka mga regional directors and yung mga COA, yung COA na naka-assign po sa inyong tanggapan, nag-uusap-usap po sila. Pero with what you're saying, 420, medyo malaki nga ho yun. Pero sana nga lang po, with the new administration, magawan ho kaagad ng paraan ho ito. Ano po? Kasi makapag-isip po ang tao na wala ho nangyayari. Kaya yan ho ang nireklamo ng mga kababayan natin. Wala po nahuhuli, wala pa nakukulong. Yung pala, may problema tayo. Kung hindi pa po na-erase ng Mr. Chair natin na ang problema sa mga wrong coordinates, kaya kailangan i-double check ho natin. Yun ang mahirap. Next time po siguro, before we make statements or comments sa media, sa social media, kesyo ganito, kesyo ganon, we have to verify muna po. Ano po? Kasi pinapaasa po natin ng taong bayan, justice this, huhulihin sa ganito, kakasuhan na sa ganon, hindi pa makasukasuhan, iniisip tuloy mga kababayan natin, baka nagkakaaregluhan na po, may inaayos na, may pinaplansya na, yung pala dapat to, sinabi nyo kaagad na may problema po tayo, inform ninyo ang DOJ, ito pong may mga problema tayo sa wrong coordinates para na-inform ang taong bayan. Because yung mama ho, ang Pangulo, nagsalita na may mahuhuli, si Ombudsman Rimulya, may mahuhuli, may aarestuhin ng mga opisyal. Alam nangyari. Yung pala, ang tingin ko ho, yung problema natin dyan sa mga coordinates na yan. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I'll just reserve my other questions sa second round.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Tulfo. Before I recognize the Senate President, quick intervention, follow-up doon sa kanyang tanong. I remember, noong nagpunta kayo sa Oriental, and this was the first time na narinig ko sa inyo mayroong maling grid coordinates. This was long before the Sumbong sa Pangulo website was launched. Sinabi nyo kagad sa inyong interview, mali yung grid coordinates namin ng aking team na in-inspection namin na kinunclude namin ghost project sa Sitio Dique, Oriental Mindoro. And we were very sure na hindi yon na hindi mali. Alam namin talagang ghost project because we never relied or we did not rely on the Sumbong sa Pangulo, which at that time was not yet in existence. Hindi pa ito na-launch. Bakit meron na kagad kayong parang subliminally or consciously, alam niyo nang may mga maling grid coordinates? That was the first time, you know, when I first learned na talagang meron mga nasubmit sa Sumbong sa Pangulo na maling grid coordinates, you know, my investigator's mind, no? Kayo unang naisip ko Secretary, bakit kayo nakapagsalita noon na mali yung grid coordinates namin when in fact we did not rely on the Sumbong sa Pangulo grid coordinates. We relied on the DPWH grid coordinates and people on the ground. Kaya we were 100% sure na yung sinabi ko sa aking privilege speech na ghost project sa Sitio Dique was really a ghost project. Alam nyo, Mr. Secretary, i-disclose ko lang, noon ako unang napikon sa inyo. Because you were undermining the work done by my staff.